Hello, universe! My name is Sequoia, and I am here for the Patreon extravaganza, brought to you by the Dead Roots around the TengDios philosophy. This is video 3, which means we are talking about the mind. This is a very powerful part of this overall philosophy. Be sure to go check out video 1 and video 2. Just get the full comprehension, but you can watch this on its own if you would like. So let's dive right into it. I want to jump right into it with the ego. Unfortunately, we have a very misconstrued representation of what the ego actually is. There are 3 parts of it. There is the id, the ego, and the superego. Each of these have a different way of representing themselves in different situations. One likes to pop out when we're having a lot of high anxiety and we want to be cocky and try to be like, oh, no, I got this. I got it under control. We're good, homie. And then you make a mess and a fool of yourself. Sometimes. It's okay. We've all done it. We've all had those embarrassing moments. One of them is our true, compassionate, deep soul. Who we are, the id. And finally, the ego is just kind of the battle between these two. How we protect ourselves and represent ourselves and keep our reputation safe. How we lean into that kind, compassionate, understanding right and wrong kind of intuition, id, is that dance of the ego. Unfortunately, in a lot of spiritual communities, especially, the ego is misrepresented as a singular beast that must be tamed, captured, or killed. No. We need this. It is a survival mechanism in order for us to function in the world and protect ourselves, protect each other, be better. When we choose to better ourselves, we have to have enough of an ego to understand that we have done something wrong, take accountability, and do better. Even if it's something as little as I woke up late today, tomorrow I'll get up earlier because I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight. So I can be on any wave of the spectrum, but I just wanted to clear that up. The ego is a very, very good thing to have. It's important for everybody. So how do we tame the ego in a way that is beneficial for our overall trajectory through life? That is through goal setting, habit hacking, and actually not goal setting, excuse me, we're done with that. We are into goal achieving and habit hacking. So there's a couple of different ways that we can address this, and I want to make it very, very, very clear that there is a specific order that I know to do things, and that might not be true for you. I am dyslexic and a very visual learner, so some of the things that I use and might say might not resonate with you, and because I can't see the world that you do, it might not work out as well for you. So you need to find what works best for yourself. But I'm just going to walk you through the path that I know and a couple of the tools that I have that are very helpful. A lot of these tools will be listed down below, or the shop for all of these tools will be listed down below. It is all linked into the Patreon, so if any one of these sound like something that'd be beneficial to you, sorry, I'm like talking a little too fast. I need to slow down. See, ego already in flow here. Check out the shop linked below if any one of these things resonates with you and you want to try to give it a go. So let's get into the functionality of what goal setting is. A while ago, I had a client that was like, I just don't have the discipline or the ambition to do goals. I'm like, but you're here with me talking about this, which shows me that you have a goal of something. What this goal was is very private to her, so I'm going to respect that. But what it really came down to was a misconception that goals are meant to be hard. That goals should be so set, the bar for a goal should be set so high that it's almost unattainable. That's not true at all. All that you need to know is that there's something that you used to do that doesn't align anymore, and there's something new that you want to try. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then we try something different. The best place that I know to start is by identifying how your schedule looks functionally. So there is a device in the toolkit down below that will be very helpful for this. It is to break down exactly what your day-to-day schedule looks like right now. This must be done with a fine-tooth comb. You got to include when you intend on eating or when you actually eat. When you actually eat, that's going to come later. When you actually sleep, so if you think you go to bed at 9 p.m., but your Fitbit or your Aura or whatever it might be is like, actually, dude, you go to bed at like 1 a.m. You write down 1 a.m. Don't write down the optimistic time. Write down the real time. So that way you can see what you're functionally working with. How much time do you allot yourself to get ready in the morning? If it's too little and it's too cramped, that's going to lead to a lot of anxiety throughout the day and maybe even a little bit of reactivity. Maybe some of that super ego coming in to party. We're not here for that all the time. She's okay sometimes. Once you have a good breakdown of what this actually looks like, write down your ideal schedule. Do this activity one more time here and write down exactly when and how you do things, what that looks like for your day-to-day. Finally, if there's a huge gap between these two things, like astronomical, maybe do a transitional schedule. So that way you can see, okay, this is what I'm doing that I'd like to improve upon. This is what I would like to be doing that sounds like it would be really good. Here's a compromise in the middle to just inch your way to that next step. Taking your time. That leads me into the 40 days. It is also referred to as a transition method in a couple of my other articles that I've written. It really depends on how you apply it. I've been utilizing the 40 days since high school. It's been very, very helpful for me, but it doesn't have to be consecutive depending on what you are working with. I used to do just a month, and what I discovered is 40 days is actually a lot better. They say that 21 days is what it takes to break a habit. Unfortunately, people have misconstrued that to believe that also takes 21 days to make a habit. Like you can do both things at the same time. No, if really you should double it. So you have 21 days to break a habit and then another 21 days to implement the new habit within it. So there's something biblical or romantic about 40 days. So I just say 40 days because why not? Poetic or something. I find it's very helpful to work on one thing and work to that next thing. So like that schedule, for example, let's say that you are trying to go to bed at 9, but you're actually going to bed at 1 a.m. The transition schedule says, okay, let's compromise at 11:30 p.m. Let's go to bed then, so that way eventually we can work towards that 9 p.m. Set a disciplined action to take accountability for sleeping at 11:30 every single night. It doesn't have to be difficult, even if it's only 15 minutes early. It doesn't have to be that huge gap. Maybe it's 1 a.m. and you shift it back to 12:45. Do that for 40 days until it feels easier. Incremental change. Discipline does not have to mean absolutely destructive to yourself. You don't have to feel like you're suffering through it. It actually should be quite rewarding. You should feel a sense of accomplishment each step of the way. If it's so challenging that you're defeating yourself every single time that you can't meet the expectation, it's too big of a goal. Which brings me down to the 4x4, and the 4x4 is super helpful for a long-term planning schedule. If you are not familiar with SMART goals, I highly recommend you get familiar with that if you find SMART goals to be a little bit ableist. I also have a tool called STAR goals, so both SMART and STAR goals will be listed in the toolbox below as well. But the 4x4 is to break down a large goal. Let's look at your whole year all at once, or a whole season, because I have it in an annual version and seasonal versions. And it's something I totally made up. It might not work for you. It's okay if it doesn't, but I really think you should give it a try. So the 4x4 is you take one really big goal and you break it down into 4 smaller moving parts. So let's say that's sleeping situation, okay? Let's say after work you decide to go hang out with a friend and it always takes longer than you think it should and you don't really feel fulfilled afterwards. And that's part of why you get home so late, and to have that kind of wind down time of like, why do I keep doing this to myself is part of why you stay up so late, and then you doom scroll for a little while and now it's 1 a.m. It happens. Maybe one part of that goal, one of the 4 parts, is maybe talking to that friend only once a week, or breaking it down to every other week, phasing it out, or finding a compromise, a better time of day to hang out with them so that way it's not impacting your sleep in any capacity. Then break that down even smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So The large goal, so I'm just going to shift examples because this metaphor is getting a little bit lost. I am trying to publish a book, and I realized the reason why I've been procrastinating on it is because I don't know what the publishing experience looks like. So I decided I'm going to just whip something out in, I think it was 120 days is what I've given myself. It's 3 rounds of 40 days to make a full book to be ready to submit to publishers. What I decided to do, instead of just being like, I'm going to publish a book and be absolutely intimidated by the blank canvas phenomenon, which is if it's completely pristine, you don't know where to start, it's overwhelming. So you got to just add a scribble to it and just be like, okay, I started. And now it's a lot easier. So I was looking at that as, I got to publish a book. That's super intimidating. So what I decided to do is back off. What needs to be done? I broke it down into 4 little things that need to be done every season. Once a month, 4 more little things. And then once a day, 4 more little things. Or once a week, 4 more little things. Once a day, 4 more little things. And so at the very base of it, it is 4 tiny little things that I can do every single day to make it easier. It came down to I need to be checking my texts and responding to them actively every single day. I need to do 1 tiny page, just 1 page of this book every single day. If inspiration strikes and I do more, great. But I'm not pushing myself to do more than that. I am also researching different publishers every single day, noting what books that I like to read, what publishers they come from, and making a list of them. And the last thing is working on my sleep, funny enough, so that way I can build a routine around these other activities. These are the 4 things that I'm doing every day just to keep it nice and light, which can translate back to the 40 days. If you want to make it an expansive, immersive experience, maybe try just one of these 4 things for 40 days and see what a difference it makes. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Try something else. My point is that goal setting is difficult. Goal achieving does not have to be. It can be as tiny as choosing to floss your teeth in the morning. That is a blog or article I'm going to be posting here shortly. I did flossing my teeth for 40 days, and I did not expect to see the results that I got from just that tiny bit of an activity. It literally takes me 15, 30 seconds. We're good. It was amazing. It's incredible what happens when you just think about the situation differently. And you just start. People who are struggling with procrastination, I know it can be really difficult. I also have a tool for that. They're called TengDios speeds. A picture and video will be linked down below as well, so you can get a look at that. I like to make custom ones for people, so that way it can be made exactly for your purpose. But it is a tool to track, make, and break habits tangibly. Because another issue that I constantly find people struggling with is this shame around not doing what they said they were going to do for themselves or for other commitments. This tool, you track them. So each time you engage in the preferred behavior, or even on the flip side, disengage from the unpreferred behavior, you slide a bead on it, take a big deep breath in and exhale. And so at the very end of the day, every single time that you've done this, you get to look back and be like, wow. When that feeling of shame or guilt, regret, whatever it might be, eventually crosses the mind of like, damn, I really didn't do what I wanted to do today. Just kidding. You can look and physically see how many times you showed up for yourself. That is progress. We are conditioned to believe that change is instantaneous. Instant gratification has toxified the goal-setting industry. And I'm not saying industry as like it's some conspiracy. I'm saying industry as in there are planners and books and workbooks and challenges and quests and whatever it might be to absolutely radicalize your entire life and self-optimization, all of this stuff. It doesn't have to be this intense. It can be so incremental. And that is what makes it so incredibly powerful, is you get a sense of reward from it. You can look back and be like, wow, this is where I came from. I wanted to be over here, but that wasn't realistic, but I'm here now. I'm still working towards that, but you can see all of the little baby steps written out just for you. I know that was a lot, but I want you to know that you are more capable than you think you are. Referring back to video 2, there's a lot more depth to what I'm about to say in that video, so go check that out. I highly recommend it. Would you treat your God, your deity, whoever you follow, the way that you treat yourself? Would you shame them for not maintaining the high expectations that you have set? Would you ridicule them or be rude, be cruel to your God for not meeting your expectation? That is the core of TengDios. That your God is within you all the time. It is all around you. To respect that in everyone else is a little bit of a deeper practice that I will go into depth on at a future time. But for right now, I need you to recognize that you have your God within you. And you must treat that God with respect. If you don't feel that you deserve it, that God does. And I want you to practice that until it feels true. You are never alone. You can handle more than you think. Look at all the other things that you've survived. It's not easy, but you're here and you are powerful because of it. Put that power to work. Your God deserves it, and you absolutely deserve it because of that. I am so proud of you and everything that you've done so far. And I cannot wait to hear about the journeys that you are taking and where you're going to end up. Please leave any comments down below. I also want to mention that all of this for video 3 is a part of the cognition cache. I know it's pronounced cache, but cache is so much more fun to say, okay? Leave me alone. I gotta say that the cognition cache is really, really powerful because it gives us an opportunity to look a little deeper at where we are going. So if you sign up for this tier, you will get 2 classes every single week that are very powerful. One is co-working, because I think it's very important for us to have a co-working opportunity for us to show up and hold each other accountable for what we're trying to work on. And it doesn't have to be some sort of like ultimate productivity kind of thing. It can be something super light, like just working with one of the tools in the toolkit in the caption below. Like just sit and spend that time doing that. Or even ask questions in the chat. We're going to have it's going to be muted entirely, because we don't want to distract people from their flow. But if you have questions and are needing assistance, please use the chat and we can talk about anything that you want to be talking about in there and get some guidance and get some clarity and understand that you are not alone. A lot of people are feeling very stuck right now. It's okay. The other thing is, I just forgot what the other thing is. That is so funny. Anyway, you can find it all in the cognition cache. I promise you it's all there. I just had a brain fart. Anyway, it also includes the Philosopher's Club. Anyone who signs up for any one of these tiers, the Body Wellness Treasury, the Temple of Spirituality, or the Cognition Cache, also is opted in for this tier, the Philosopher's Club, which is the opportunity to receive a physical handwritten letter in the mail with a bunch of goodies in it. It is an honor to write a letter for you, and I'd love if you sign up for it. Because you also get these really fun things. This is all about like returning to your humanity and remembering that there's a whole wide world out there, connecting with nature, connecting with your community, connecting with your local environments, and using your money more wisely. So it always includes the 7-day challenge. This is a light, mindful-based way of practicing discipline. And it has these little boxes on here so you can cross them off as you practice. And on the back side, it has a cosmic calendar. It has all the moon phases in it, so you can check that out as it's happening. and be reminded that we're just minute living in space. And that is really cool. It's not that deep. We also have the quest log. This is 10 quests to complete at your leisure. There's some really fun, lighthearted ones. This whole set is from February. This is the example set that I always carry around. One of them is take a walk in the grass. There's not even a time limit. Just go hop in the grass how long you want. And on the back set it has a cosmic calendar with all of the class schedule on there. And then we have the meditation that is theme-based around the season. So that way, whatever you're feeling in your body can be regrounded, and whatever's happening in the tidal wave of society is present here as well. On the back side, it also has the quill. This is 3 prompts that are designed to be written on paper. This is to help with your cognition and comprehension of what you're experiencing. It also is really beneficial for memory. Helps like kind of rebuild all of your neural networks in that capacity. This has been a lot of fun to put together. I also just, in the world of AI, I feel the need to mention, I draw all of these. Every single bit of this I hand draw on my iPad through a program called Procreate. There's no affiliation or anything. I just like their program a lot. I literally spent the time hand drawing every single part of it and then move stuff around to make it look pretty. I also handwrite absolutely everything. There's never any AI involvement because I want you to know that this is possible to be done without the help of a computer. I think it's very, very valuable. Of course, I have my bills to pay, so definitely go check out the caption below and shop my shop. I have a bunch of beautiful discounts for you for Find the Good. It's a wonderful brand to kind of help represent all of the goodness in the world and help other people find it as well. There's some hygiene stuff in there, such as the floss I was talking about, some silk floss, so totally biodegradable, and Echo water. I love Echo water so much. It helps me with my recovery and just feeling better in my body. I have fibromyalgia, and so I struggle a lot with my recovery and my inflammation and just mobility overall, and the Echo water has been super, super beneficial for me individually on that. If that's something that you're interested in, I have a discount code below. And if you're learning a new language and that's one of your goals, I also have a major discount for you from Rocket Languages. I would love for you to check them out. It has been game-changing. That little green bird had me fucked up. This Rocket Language has actually set me on a trajectory, no pun intended, because Rocket Language, anyway. It has set me on a trajectory to be listening to more Latin music. I'm trying to learn Spanish right now. I'm getting a lot better. And I've started reading books in Spanish for the first time in a long time. I'm so happy about that. So definitely go check out the shop. Lots of really good ethical brands to work with. Alpaca blankets, silk floss. I got you. Okay? I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Spend some time thinking about these things. I know that this can be heavy and a lot to think about, but you deserve it, okay? TengDios. I'm always trying to turn this off. I gotta find a better way to do this.